Hey guys, what's up? It's Crescent here. I'm going to show you how to cut leather in excruciating detail, so let's not waste any time and jump straight to the workbench.
So the first thing that we need to talk about is the leather that I'll be cutting, because different materials call for different tools. I'll be using an old favourite from the channel, some thick veg tan. This piece is about 4mm thick on the nose, or 10 ounces, and that was the only bone that I'll be throwing to imperial measurements. So what is veg tan? Briefly, it's a fibrous, non-homogeneous material. That means the fibers are all different sizes, pointing in different directions, which is why a hide of leather will have different amounts of stretch or give in different places. So when we're doing a cutting operation on the leather, we're slicing clean through these fibers, and so you can imagine that the thicker a piece of leather we have, the more fibers we're needing to slice through simultaneously, and it gets really tough really quickly unless you've got the right tool for the job. Which leads me into round knives and utility knives, or as I would call this, a Stanley knife. I'll be showing you how to cut with both of these, the differences between them, and why it actually might be worth your time upgrading to get a round knife if you don't have one already. Step one is the prep work. I'm going to draw my pattern onto this hide, and I'm going to be very careful not to mark it with my pattern weights or my fingernails, because that kind of marking at this stage is permanent. Then after that, we're going to put some water onto the leather. You can use a spray bottle, or as I like to do, a damp rag. Anything really is fine as long as you get a nice uniform coloring on the hide without any distinct drips and drops, because these will become shockingly permanent. So all you need to do is wait a few minutes for this to absorb into the middle part of the leather. You don't want to soak it completely, just a light coating on the top will do, and as this sinks into the core, it'll cause all of those fibers to swell up, become more aligned with one another, and that makes it much easier to cut. You'll know that it's soaked into the core when the leather starts going back to the same color that it was before, kind of like this. Step 2 is ensuring that you've got a sharp blade. In the case of my round knife, this is a quick stop at the strop. For my Stanley knife though, I'm just going to put a whole new blade into it. This step seems short. Maybe it should be step 1A? Let's run through the round knife first. This thing is designed to part flesh like Moses and the Red Sea, so I cannot emphasize this enough. Keep your goddamn fingers away from the edge. Never rest your hand any further up than perpendicular to the handle. Moving on to the knife itself, this is a compound curve, and if I need to cut a bend or curved line in the leather, I can lean it right back onto the point, which gives me a lot of control with steering. Whereas for a straight line, I can lean it further forwards to the middle part of the blade, which means more blade is in contact with the leather, which does help to keep everything straight. So I'll start at the edge of the leather and push firmly with an even pressure. We're aiming to get all the way through this in the single cut for reasons that I'll show you in a minute. And I will say it again, keep your filthy bread hooks away from where the blade can slip and strike. Alright, so say you don't have a round knife. How would you cut this out with a Stanley knife? Well, it's the opposite, really. We're going to pull the blade toward us rather than pushing it. This means there's less risk of losing a finger, but still keep your greasy nose pickers away from the direction that the blade can slip. With very thick leathers, it's likely that we're going to need to cut this in several passes with the Stanley knife. And because the blade is so thin, you don't want to put too much pressure on it, especially around corners, or you like to snap the tip off of it. And now that comparison that I promised a minute ago. Here's the piece that was cut in one fell swoop with the round knife, and here is the piece that I cut in multiple passes with the Stanley knife. You can see the little lines that I've put into the material as each pass went deeper. Now, this will likely get solved later on down the line with edge treating, but this is just something to be mindful of.
And there you have it. A lot of the process of cutting leather is the preparation phase, but if you take the time to plan it out, even just a little bit, then you can save yourself a lot of heartache later on down the line. Now, this is the first in what's going to be a small series of tutorial videos where I'm going to cover how to cut, glue, stitch, and finish the leather. If that sounds like something that you wouldn't mind a few pointers on, feel free to hang around and subscribe to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. Tutorial style videos aren't my normal fare on this channel, but I figured that a change is as good as a holiday. And if you are a regular viewer, g'day, how's it going? Thank you so much for watching. You guys take it easy, and I'll catch you later.